dinner with like friends or family and peers and people who want to be around her, and she won't go. So if we don't address the actual issues that are bringing about the gender dysphoria, we're gonna have more cases like this. And that's why you'll see a lot of people go down the path of transition and still end up even more in despair than they were before.
Cite it.
Some of them even end up
Survey of over 90,000 trans people shows vast improvement in life satisfaction after transition. Of respondents who are currently receiving hormone treatment, 84% said receiving such treatment for their gender identities and transitions made them, quote, a lot more satisfied with their lives. 14% said they made it a little more satisfied. Just 1% said hormone treatment made them neither more nor less satisfied, and less than 1% said hormone treatment made them a lot less satisfied. So this was another content suggestion. If you would like to leave your content suggestions with me to go over potentially on stream, you can do so on my Discord server in the proper channel, content suggestions. And you can join that by clicking the link in the description below. So this is a person called Amala Ekpunobi. I've never heard of this person before, but she has 2.14 million subscribers. Just hanging out and talking about trending politics. So she's a political commentator apparently, and she's going over woke LGBTQ TikTok. And she calls it a, quote, different world. Let's see what this is all about.
Gentlemen, non-binary folks, gender queer individuals, the he, hims, the she, hers, the zers, the they, thems, the straight people, the gay people, the lesbos, the asexuals, the demisexuals, the bisexuals.
Boys, girls, and MBs of all shapes, sizes, colors, and orientations gets the job done just fine.
Wherever you are out there in the world, all of you are welcome on our channel today.
For all you stream viewers.
We're going to be reacting to woke gender TikToks. Yes, we're entering the LGBTQIA plus realm today. So without further ado, let's get into it.
She's so cool. Her green screen is garbage, by the way. Like 2.14 million subscribers. How many views does this video have? 113K. And you can't like get a legitimate green screen. You have to use that AI garbage that like Discord uses. Oh. It looks like shit.
Alright guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. As I said out the gate, we're going to be reacting to woke gender / LGBTQ TikToks, which is a fun series of mine that I gotta keep up with on this channel. So we're gonna start.
I've seen her videos before. She tries to brand her videos like she's a centrist, but has purely far-right views. Nice, nice.
Start with who?
You don't even use yours? There, I'm using it.
Who are the LGBTQ plus people voting for? In this scenario, a trans person who's apparently voting for Kamala Harris. Shocker. Let's see why.
Why would I not vote for Kamala? I am a queer person who was assigned female at birth living in America. My options are literally if I vote for one person, and life and safety if I vote for Kamala. Like,
yeah, I mean, that's kind of true, right? Because like, if you were assigned female at birth and you transition to being a man, like we consider trans care life-saving. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Please, life and safety if you vote for Kamala Harris. If you vote for Donald Trump, you're going to die. Be so for real right now.
of course I would vote.
I mean, people will die. Like you got trans kids are gonna die. Pregnant people are gonna die. Yeah, people will die. Yeah, that's not like an exaggeration.
Kamala. It makes sense that
migrants will probably die.
People are supporting and voting
Families will be separated at the border like he did the first time. That's pretty cool. You know, like just a lot of stuff that'll
for
happen.
Kamala. The only group who would not suffer under Trump's reign are literally cis white men. That's it. One group of people.
I gotta pause.
That seems to be true, right? Right? Like that's the leading group. I mean, yeah, right? Because Trump is like racist, sexist, transphobic, homophobic, xenophobic. So yeah, I mean that's the only group of people that realistically. And I am a person as a cis white man who cares about people who aren't cis white men. They'll do the same bell sound effect. I don't know why they do that.
I mean, didn't we already have a Trump presidency? A 4-year term from President Donald Trump?
And it was awful.
How many people
and it was awful
in the LGBTQ community died because of it? Please give me
Here, let's see. Let's see if we can find something, actually. It's a good question. Let's see. Fatal violence against the transgender and gender expansive community in 2020, 2021. I saw a statistic from Aaron Reed about how trans youth suicide rates have increased 72% because of anti-trans legislation. Oh, yeah. Let me pull that up, actually. And also, people have died as a result of the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. So people have died because of that. Thank you, Trump. Appreciate that. But let's look at specifically LGBTQ deaths. During first term in office, Trump administration enacted more anti-LGBTQIA+ policies than any previous administration with devastating consequences. The Fenway Institute of Fenway Health released a policy brief demonstrating that during its 4 years in office, the Trump administration enacted more anti-LGBTQIA+ policies than any previous administration in history. Titled Trump-Pence Administration Policies Undermined LGBTQ Health Equity, the brief also shows that these policies are harming the health and well-being of LGBT whatever in America and around the world. Additionally, the Trump administration's openly racist policies and radical harm Black, Indigenous, and people of color, especially those who are also LGBTQIA+. Let's see. People living with HIV became much more vulnerable to discrimination in healthcare, social services, employment, education, and access to basic government services. At least 2 transgender women seeking asylum in the United States who were detained in facilities that have been sued for their alleged abuse of LGBTQIA migrants have died. Oh, there you go. There's who died. And 2 initiatives by the Trump administration aimed at improving the conditions of LGBTQIA+ people around the world and ending the transmission of HIV have been undermined by the administration's own anti-LGBTQIA+ policies. Repealed all healthcare regulations that prohibit discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Regulations prohibited discrimination over a wide range of services, including the provision of public and private health insurance, including Medicaid. The benefit design practices of health insurance issuers covered by the Affordable Care Act, and services offered by the program of all-inclusive care for the elderly. So, yeah, I mean, it's literally putting people's lives at risk. That's not an exaggeration to say that. But
the numbers and the stats on that.
Go on.
This individual is probably older than, 7.5 years old now, which means they lived through the Trump presidency and managed to make it to the other end without ing. So how are we here exactly? Anyway.
Also worth mentioning, it's probably going to be worse if Trump gets in again because of Project 2025. They literally don't want gay and trans people to even exist in public. It's really bad.
Anyways, let's continue watching.
People. And America is made up of a lot of different groups of people, not just cis white men. So it makes a lot of sense why people are backing Kamala. But even a good chunk of cis white men that I've seen aren't even supporting Trump. That man
I think calling him Frump is a little cringe, not gonna lie.
is a compulsive liar. He'll post one thing on social media.
That is true.
And
He
then
is a liar.
go and say something else at a rally. But he's
Is Trump the one who's guilty of that? We've been fact-checking Kamala since day one. We all
Okay, you can say that Kamala's lying, but you're also avoiding the fact that Trump is a liar. He lies all the time. He is a chronic liar. He's a compulsive liar. He lies for fun. He is a liar.
watched her whole performance in
Proven
the presidential
to be a
debate
liar.
where she said a whole bunch of lies about fracking, about racial unity, about wanting to take people's guns, about all of her different stances on these issues that she's flip-flopped on depending on the audience she's speaking to.
I call him
And
Tump
we
because I find it
fact-checked
funny. That is
right
kind of
here.
funny.
You guys can check out the video. So I don't know that Donald Trump is really the liar of the two. If anything,
You didn't disprove that Donald Trump is a liar. You proved that Kamala Harris lies sometimes, which of course she does. She's a fucking politician. Trump is a much larger liar.
he might
Okay.
be a little too honest, which
Chronic
people
liar.
aren't comfortable with.
saying and what he's doing doesn't match
That wasn't
up.
proof against
It
Trump's
never
lies.
Does. The man was using AI imagery to try
That-
to
yeah.
get some of the voters to come
Yeah, you have evidence right there. AI imagery. That's lying, dude.
and vote for him. Like, that is just so sad. That is so sad, but scary at the same time because
Yes.
AI has gotten so good that a lot of older generations of people can't tell the difference between generative AI and real life. A lot of us younger folks
No comment on that. We're just gonna let that pass right by, right? What's her name again? Amala? I remembered because it rhymes with Kamala. Right, Amala?
and people who are constantly on the internet can, but not everyone can, and that's terrifying. And honestly, shouldn't even be allowed for candidates to use while they're running for president of the United States.
True.
And it's quite literally someone who lies versus someone who has proven through their actions that they do mean good in this world. Kamala might not be
Comment on the
perfect,
AI
no
thing.
human it. But the most important thing is that she listens. And we the people have power too.
She's gonna pause every time she thinks that she can get a good word in. Not like I don't do that. It's not the same thing that I do at all. This is very different. But I do try to comment on things on both directions when it's when like, you know, like if this person said something wrong, I'd say yes, this person's saying something wrong, and I'm not defending Kamala from being a liar. Okay, she is a liar. She's a politician. Of course, she's a liar.
To change things, to make a difference, to make our voices heard, and to make people listen to us. Trump doesn't care about us non-billionaires. Kamala
True.
has shown that she's for the people, and I support that.
Okay. I mean, not a single shred of evidence throughout that entire video, and I'd be curious what actions Kamala Harris is doing to make you believe she cares about you more than the other candidate. But we all know that this.
I thought that she was going to say not a shred of evidence in favor of like for Trump or for Trump being a liar, which there was plenty of evidence there. That person laid it out. Sorry, that person laid it out. Like literally, like here's the AI imagery. Here is proof of Donald Trump being a filthy liar. You know,
this is how it's going to go, especially for the
and you're just fine with
LGBTQ
that.
woke crowd, because there is an LGBTQ crowd that is not
right,
woke.
Amala?
But for the woke crowd of the LGBTQ group, of course, they're going to be voting for Kamala and saying that it is a life and death situation, even though we have absolutely no evidence to substantiate that.
Right here.
Claim. And I've even seen people on Twitter saying that if you're an LGBTQ plus person and you're voting for Donald Trump, you are essentially committing suicide and killing yourself, which is just such a crazy thing to say.
Listen, if you vote for the leopards eating your face party, the leopard will not eat your face. That's silly to think that. True. Actually, though.
And we should really question and view with a healthy amount of skepticism the people who are making these really dangerous claims about a Trump presidency, especially when we consider the fact that we've already lived through.
I'm not in favor of animal abuse, by the way, but like that is kind of how you have to cook crawdads, so whatever.
One. Anyways, let's continue on to the next. This one is also a transgender individual talking about gender dysphoria and ongoing gender dysphoria.
I need to know, oh my god, if it's normal for me to literally had done every single surgery and I still have so much dysphoria to the point where right now I was supposed to go to dinner and there's no way in fucking hell that I'm gonna go.
So for all you trans people, both men and women, trans men and women and non-binary and whatever, who still have gender dysphoria, I mean, listen, I don't judge people by looks, but like this person I would clock as a woman, period, end of story, no contest, like what the fuck are you even talking about, and still has gender dysphoria. So, you know, it's hard, it's difficult, regardless of what you look like for trans people sometimes, you know? And people like this certainly aren't helping. Let's see what her commentary on it is. Because I feel
like, is there anyone like that? Like, I am going insane.
All right. Yeah, I mean, this is a really interesting video. I do feel sorry for this person who is clearly going through it and probably has been going through it for quite some time. You can see they've gone through many procedures.
Sorry about talks.
It looks like facial feminization as well as other plastic surgery.
It's close to dysmorphia at that point. Kind of, right? Like you're literally looking in the mirror at a woman and saying, no, I'm still seeing a man. Like, yeah, I think you might be onto something there, Queen Laura. Not really? I don't know. I don't want to get into the specifics. The point is that people struggle with it no matter what they look like.
Surgery and cosmetic procedures on the face to appear more feminine. It seems like they've gone through many surgeries with the body as well to appear more feminine. And I wouldn't be surprised if they've done the whole list of sex reassignment procedures that one can do.
So I want to touch on this just for a second. Using the gender neutral they is technically correct in this context because we don't know this person's pronouns. However, right, big but right here, this person is right wing. Amala here is right wing. And so I don't trust her use of the word they because clearly this person is presenting as a woman and I would default to she, her. But because Amala knows that this person is trans, she's using they, them. That's where my problem is.
Plus, it seems vocal training or maybe a procedure for vocal feminization as well. And
like, where is
you
it
know,
coming
to be
from?
honest,
Why are you saying
before
they,
hearing
them?
the voice, looks straight up like a woman to me in more ways than one. Maybe an exaggerated version of a woman, but still looks that way nonetheless. And
Exaggerated
to see
how?
that the gender dysphoria is following them through all these procedures really points out, I think, a little deeper fact about those who experience gender dysphoria and the transgender crowd. And this may not be the case for all, but it is the case for many, that going down this route of sexual reassignment surgery doesn't necessarily fix the problem that you are dealing with, the underlying issue.
Not all.
And
no,
that's why I
well, not always, but like the underlying issue is gender dysphoria. That is the underlying issue.
really have to call out the medical practitioners, the scientists and researchers who are pushing forward the narrative that the only real response to gender dysphoria when it is viewed in patients is to push them down the route of blind medical affirmation. Because a lot of
No, that's not what happens, though. That's straight up not what happens, and you're stupid for suggesting that. That's really stupid. That's really stupid.
times you'll find
That you
out
would say
that these patients go through every single procedure known to man
just a stupid
when it comes
person.
to switching and changing your gender, and on the other end of it, they are still not okay with themselves. They still feel an incongruence. They still feel as though they can't accept themselves, so much so that this individual doesn't even want to go out to dinner, presumably dinner.
Yeah, and you're part of the problem, Amala. Thank you, Queen Laura. True. Amala is literally contributing to that problem. Like, won't even refer to her as she, her. Okay? That's your problem. Like, you don't even respect this person's gender identity. F off. You don't care about them. You don't give a shit about their plight, whatever. Okay? F off.
Dinner with like friends or family and peers and people who want to be around her, and she won't go. So if we don't address the actual issues that are bringing about the gender dysphoria, we're going to have more cases like this. And that's why you'll see a lot of people go down the path of transition and still end up even more in despair than they were before.
Cite it.
Some of them even end up
Survey of over 90,000 trans people shows vast improvement in life satisfaction after transition. Of respondents who are currently receiving hormone treatment, 84% said receiving such treatment for their gender identities and transitions made them, quote, a lot more satisfied with their lives. 14% said they made it a little more satisfied. Just 1% said hormone treatment made them neither more nor less satisfied, and less than 1% said hormone treatment made them a lot less satisfied. So you can say that like, oh, a lot of people, well, way the more people are saying that gender affirming care is helping them. So what am I to take from that? That's the data. Those are the facts.
taking their lives. There's really high rates of suicide among this community,
Yes, and that's your fault. You are the problem. You're the problem.
even for people who are accepted by those around them and who undergo medical treatment.
Even for those who are accepted by those around them, prove it. Show me the sources that say that. Because the sources that I've seen say that trans people who are treated better by their community have way lower risk of suicide, way lower, if they're treated better by their family and their community, okay? And every research I've seen on this, all the research I've seen on this says that the suicide rate comes from being mistreated societally and familially, okay? So you're just wrong. You're straight up just wrong.
So this is just, I think, yet another sad example about that. I don't have anything funny
Yeah,
or
this
witty
debunked
to
Swedish
say
study
about this
again.
person. I just feel bad that even though you've undergone all these different processes to change who you are as a person, it doesn't change who you
Off. You don't care. You don't give a shit about that person. Sorry.
are as a
I can't
person.
believe you.
And that's what we're trying to scream from the rooftops, and people don't want to hear it. At least not yet. They are not.
Because you don't want to
ready
help
for it.
her.
We're going to move on to another one. This one's on misgendering, which is always a fun topic.
Okay, we're gonna move right along to. By the way, I feel so bad for this trans person. I can't express enough how bad I feel for this trans person and their plight. On to the misgendering, which is always a fun diddly dandy topic that I love to shit on people for, and shit on them I will.
So I got
Let's
served
go.
today at the pharmacy, and I'm not saying men can't look like this, because please go off, kings, but like, I'm not doing damage to masculinity. I think y'all are when you serve me, when you call me a man, right? Like, I'm not a man. Don't consider me for.
Okay, right off the bat, yes, you can be a person with a beard and not be a man. Correct. You can be a trans woman and have a beard and still be a woman. Okay, you can be non-binary with a beard. I will say, if you are donning a beard, you are going to get he/himmed and sirred in public. I'm not saying that's right. I would very much appreciate if that weren't the case, but that is the case, okay? That is just a consequence of having a beard, okay? So if you're going to go out with a beard, be prepared for that. And I'm sorry, that's not fair. I'm not saying that's fair, but That is the consequence of having a beard, yes. Even if you're like a cis woman with a beard, you will probably get surd. It's just it's considered a masculine trait. So
to the pool of men.
But it
And
is
maybe
also
the
fine to be
people who are
frustrated.
Like, oh, masculinity's in decline. Well, stop thinking I'm doing anything with it. I'm not part of that equation. Count me out.
I'm
Fair,
sorry.
true.
We have to look at this individual. Okay. And of course, when you look at people and when you're engaging with people, whether or not you know it or not, you are making all these different
By the way, everything that person said was correct.
calculations in your brain and then deciding how to refer to them. The first thing that I see when looking at this individual is a full-fledged beard at the bottom of your face, which immediately signals to me that you are probably a man. Now, we can try to escape that reality with feminine clothes, wearing a crop top, wearing skinny jeans that seem to have a bulge coming out of the private area.
Did anybody else notice that? Like, this person's literally hiding it. I literally didn't even look until she was like pointing it out. Now I feel weird for looking.
Private area, we can try to mask our masculinity with
stop looking
these
at crotches.
sort of
Stop
feminine
that.
traits and characteristics, or traits that we presume to be feminine, but it doesn't always work out. You know, as much makeup as you put on, as much feminine clothing as you put on,
But this person clearly wants the beard. Like, you can shave the beard if you don't want it. Most trans women shave the beard, you know, because they understand that the consequence of having a beard in public is that you will get surd and he/himmed. Yeah, but this person clearly, I mean, if I had to guess, this person's non-binary and they like looking this way. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see right now. Hold on. They like looking this way, okay? So if I had to guess, this person's probably non-binary, like they like to look this way, and that's how they choose to present themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. And they are asking to not be called a man and asking to be not he/himmed. And as long as you understand that, unfortunately, we live in a gender-pilled society where you're going to get he/him just for having a beard, you know? Like, I feel like what they're asking is fair. Yeah, transphobes are really weird. And also, yes, they do look amazing.
I'm going to see through it and see that you are actually a man underneath. And maybe that's why you're getting surd at the pharmacy. And when you're presenting this
What about women with beards? Cis women with beards? Huh? Cis women have beards. Like, people who are born female at birth, they can grow beards.
very confusing picture to people where you look kind of like half man, half woman, it's anybody's guess, you know, what to refer to you as. So I don't know that you can get on those people for
Yeah, so you refer to them as a person. This is a great... Here, I want to go back to this person so we can see them fully. So this is a great example of why I am a gender abolitionist, okay? Because this person has traits of both masculinity and femininity, okay? This person has, clearly visible boobies, okay? Wearing very feminine clothing, but also has a beard, okay? And I think that we should just refer to this person as a person, okay? I don't think there should be man or woman or non-binary or any of that crap. It's garbage. It's all garbage. Get rid of it. We don't need gender. It's just garbage at this point, okay? Just refer to these people as people. That's all you need.
That's why you're in public, other people in you. And this seemingly is a divide amongst the trans community. A lot of trans people say you really have to dedicate your time and effort towards looking like the gender that you identify with.
Yeah, they're trans meds and they suck.
If you want to be gendered in that way out in public, other people in the trans community disagree and say that all you need to do is say that you're a woman or say that your pronouns are she, her in order to be referred to in that way.
Nobody says that. Nobody says that people will like if I decided tomorrow that I'm a woman, okay, which is possible but not likely. If I decided tomorrow to be a woman and go out in public as I am now, people will not suddenly refer to me as she, her, or as a woman. That's not going to happen. And nobody thinks that that's going to happen either. And this idea that people think that that's going to happen is so silly. Like, you infantilize trans people like they're stupid. Okay, they're not stupid. Trans people know that if you go out in public with a beard, you're going to be sirred and he, him. Okay? That's just a consequence of having a beard. Even if you're a trans woman, all right? Even if you're a cis woman. This happens to cis women too, all right? People aren't stupid. Trans people are not stupid. So, like, it's just a silly idea that that's how that works.
All you need to do is say that you're a woman or say that your pronouns are she, her in order to be referred.
But the other part of that is Sorry, I went back because I forgot the other part I wanted to say. You are a woman if you say you're a woman, yes. If you truly believe that, yes, I am a woman, then yes, you are a woman. That is all it takes. Correct. That doesn't mean people are going to refer to you as a woman, but yes, you are a woman. That's all it takes.
Referred to in that way. If I had to lean in either
I could be a woman tomorrow if I wanted to. Starting tomorrow. A little
bit more time and effort if you want to be referred to as a woman.
In the next 60 seconds.
If people refer to you as sir or he, him, it is not their fault because that is what you are. You know, apologies. Apologies if that's the reality that you find.
No, stop with the apologies. Stop with the... I hate it when they do this. I respect it so much more when people just own the fact that they hate trans people. You know what I mean? I respect it so much more. I don't even think that she believes she hates trans people because she hasn't actually delved into her beliefs enough to figure that out. But that only cedes more ground to my position that she's a pussy on this. You're a pussy. You hate trans people and you can't just say it with your chest. Reach down deep inside and just pull it out. Say, I hate trans people. Just say it. Just say it.
Find yourself in, but that is where you are. And no amount of makeup or clothing or surgeries or all these different things is necessarily going to change that. But if this individual looked more like the individual reacted to a couple minutes ago, maybe you'd be getting she, her, and maybe you'd be getting called ma'am or lady out in public. And that's not on the person who is
again, that person was probably non-binary if I had to guess.
misgendering you. Sorry, next.
And no, it's not on the person who misgenders you. If you get misgendered, that's not necessarily that person's fault. They didn't know. But once you tell that person, actually, I prefer not to be called sir, you know, the respectable thing to do is say, oh, well, then what would you like me to call you? I apologize. Right? Not continually insist that, like, you're a sir. You're a sir. You're sir. I deem you sir. You are sir according to me. Says me, the arbiter of gender. That is me. Right? Like, that's silly. No normal person does that.
What is something weird about conservatives?
There is
everything.
Almost a cultish vibe, I feel.
But of course, they're asking this person this question because, frankly, the way that this person is dressed is out of the ordinary.
The way they operate within themselves, they refuse to listen to outside people. You know, they're refusing to learn, essentially.
True.
I think that is a large part of it.
No, I know whoever sent me this done this, set me up. With the react, come on now. What am I supposed to say to that? What am I supposed to say to that? When this person is telling you they feel like conservatives operate within a cult, what? I should just remain silent.
This has nothing to do with being in a cult. What? Nothing here has anything to do with being in a cult. You're just stupid. You don't know what a cult is.
Let's play crickets. Because there's nothing else. I mean, there's a lot going on here. Clown makeup, green hair. You know what? That's
they could just be a Kiss fan.
If you want to dress like that. The little, like, almost like fetish gear that they're wearing on their backpack. Interesting. What I'm really looking at is the tape over the chest. Is that meant to be like a top surgery type thing that you're playing out? Has this individual undergone...
They are a juggalo? I have never heard of a well, actually, no, I have heard of juggalos. It's just been a long-ass time. I don't know what a juggalo is.
Top surgery? Is this a man? Is this a woman? I don't know what's going on. Let me listen to the voice real quick.
Whoa, you can't tell. Wait a minute. You can't tell if this person's a man or a woman. That's crazy. That's wild. Maybe that's part of the point. You ever thought about that? Just a thought. Yeah, isn't it just like, yeah, it's not fetish gear. Like, it looks a little bit leathery. I guess you could mistake it as fetish gear, the thing over this chest. I didn't say anything about it because I guess you could mistake it as that, but like, it is just a strap over the chest for your backpack. Like, it's not necessarily fetishistic.
Like, hold on.
I
think it's publicly acceptable.
You know, they're refusing to learn, essentially. I think that is a large part of it.
You know what?
See, like, you're sitting here and contemplating whether this person's a man or a woman. Like, who gives a shit? Who cares? Just let people be people.
You fooled? I don't know what this person was born as. I'm gonna be honest. You guys.
Why do you care so much? Ooh, you care so much about gender. Why do you care? I don't care. That person's a person, and they get they them until they say otherwise. Okay, that's how I operate.
You'll have to let me know. You know, I'm trying to look underneath the makeup and everything that's going on there, and I can't figure it out.
That's weird. This is weird behavior. You're the weird one here.
Cult for somebody who's accusing conservatives.
It's not cult. What?
In a cult. And if you go and give like a quick Google search of like the characteristics.
How
of
was
a
that
cult,
screaming
you'll find
cult?
that woke leftism falls in your.
Let's see what it says here.
Give like a quick Google search of like the.
Let's see what it says here about people wearing makeup and green hair and having tape over your chest. Isolating members and penalizing them for leaving. Seeking inappropriate loyalty to their leaders. Dishonoring the family unit. Absolute authoritarianism without meaningful accountability. Wait, dishonoring the family unit. Where did she get this? A quick Google search. Cult-related activity. Here we go. So this is from Bethune-Cookman University. Extreme religious, philosophical, or spiritual beliefs focus on a particular personality, object, or goal. I wouldn't agree with dishonoring the family unit. That sounds pretty right-wing to me. No tolerance for questions or critical inquiry, no meaningful financial disclosure regarding budget expenses such as independently audited financial statement, unreasonable fear about the outside world. This is absolutely a conservative thing right here. There is no legitimate reason to leave. Former followers are always wrong in leaving, negative or even evil. Well, the difference between liberals and conservatives is if you leave liberalism to go be a conservative, that is objectively going toward the evil side. So cults like to say if your family doesn't believe what you believe, leave them. I guess. I see what it means. I just think that you could have worded this better. Like, dishonoring the family unit is like very conservative coded to me. I don't know. Nothing about that says anything about makeup and hair. That's my point.
Characteristics of a cult.
Or tape
You'll
over the
find that
chest.
woke leftism falls in nearly every single category and characteristic that is used to measure a cult.
Prove it.
And of course, we can cherry pick and attribute the same thing to conservative.
Bethune-Cookman University is affiliated with the United Methodist Church. Yeah, there you go.
I'll just say at the end of the day, I don't know that this is the person that I'm looking to for a high-powered analysis of conservatives and whether or not they exist in a cult. And that's all I'm going to say about that one. Let me shut my mouth.
Hold on, what? Let me see.
For a high-powered analysis. At the end of the day, I don't know that this is the person that I'm looking to for a high-powered analysis of conservatives and whether or not they exist in a cult. And that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, because that person was just some random on the street. Like, who cares what their opinion is? I'm not saying that I don't care about that person, but like, yeah, I wouldn't look to them either for that because they're not a content creator claiming to be an expert. They're just trying to live their life, and then people come up to them and they're like, "Oh, what do you think about gender?" Like, it's silly.
About that one, let me shut my mouth. Okay, we're gonna move on. This next one is about gaming. We all know that the video gaming.
All I need to know about juggalos is that every once in a while Nazis try to ingratiate themselves with them, and the Nazis get their asses beat every time. Nice, got it. I'm going to stop here because the debate between JD Vance and our boy Walls is about to begin. But yeah, this was a really dumb video. I don't have much more to add to it, except for Amala Ekpuboni, I believe it's pronounced. Amala Ekpuboni. Ekpunobi. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but you're stupid, and nothing you said here made any sense. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits, such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.